Well, this won't be controversial. Paper Mario: The Origami King is an adorably fun adventure game filled with Nintendo charm. It's the latest game in a series that has received plenty of criticism for the last couple of entries. Because of this game was under tons of scrutiny when it was first announced, and that hasn't slowed up yet. The world's most famous plumber takes on a new origami-based adventure this time around, and while it might not be the same style as the Thousand Year Door, there's still a lot of good things to talk about. And after playing this game for the week, I have some things I want to say about it. I go by Capture Reviews, and these are my thoughts on Paper Mario: The Origami King. And since this game is only a week old, there will be little to no spoilers ahead. Paper Mario: The Origami King opens up with Mario and Luigi visiting Peach's castle for the Origami Festival. Once they arrive, they notice that no one's at the kingdom, and Peach looks... yeah. Later, after almost being kidnapped, Mario meets Olivia, and we learn that the kingdom has been taken over by her evil brother, King Ali. Ali is an origami master who folds up everything in his path, from buildings to toads to Bowser's minions, which is pretty f***ing morbid when you think about it. He takes Peach's castle, relocates it, and covers the world in powerful streamers. Yep, just go with it. Now, Mario, Olivia, and a slew of friends they meet must save the day and defeat King Ali. This is done by traveling through several vast areas, each comprised of semi-linear paths for you to follow. While some areas are open world-ish, there really is a set path that you're forced to explore while you conquer dungeons, defeat bosses, and release the streamers from each location. But if you occasionally stray off course, Origami King has hundreds of hidden secrets to reward you with. There's the hidden collectible treasures, which are little models of things you've seen in-game, and there are the not bottomless holes that you can fill up with confetti that you've collected from various events. This is a dream for a completionist, and you'll be searching all over the place for hidden rooms and pathways to find these. It's also worth noting that sometimes filling in the not bottomless holes will open up new secret areas that you wouldn't have seen otherwise. Toads that have been folded by Ali's minions are the main attraction here, though. By inspecting every nook and cranny, you'll find some suspicious-looking items that are actually poor little toads. Toads can be anything ranging from a flower, to a bug, to a flag, so keep your eyes peeled and whack them with a hammer when you see them. They'll thank you for saving them with some witty dialogue, and some even own shops that'll unlock by doing this too, so it's worth your time to explore. The toads will also spectate in your battles and fight in them, if you pay them off. Cheap fucks. Speaking of which, we have to bring up the battle mechanics in this game. Truth be told, this is the first Paper Mario I've played since the Thousand Year Door, so I'm excited to get into some RPG turn-based fighting. What the f*** is this? Yes, these battles that you'll see plenty of are done using the brand spanking new ring-based combat mechanic, and boy oh boy is this a thing. Basically, the ring system gives you a certain number of moves to try and line up your enemies all together, and a certain number of moves to attack them. So, if you only have 2 attack moves, for example, your goal is to rotate and slide the enemies around until you can line them up and take them out in those 2 attacks. There's 3 main methods to attacking: jumping, which hits enemies in a straight line, hammering, which hits them in a 2x2 area, and items, which vary on how they attack. There's also weapons you can buy, like shiny boots that boost your attack stat, but they do wear down and break because every f***ing game needs to be Breath of the Wild now. This happens way too fast in my opinion, and it got pretty obnoxious. This combat mechanic is absolutely bonkers, and I absolutely hate it and love it so f***ing much that my therapy bills for coping with these feelings are through the roof. It's very fun trying to line up enemies, but the ring system is used for every enemy you bump into, which gets very repetitive very fast. Later in the game, you gain the ability to defeat enemies by hitting them in the overworld, but even still, that only works on the weakest of the bunch, so you'll still find yourself rotating rings every few minutes. But where the ring battle mechanic does shine is in the boss fights. In boss fights, the bosses are placed in the middle, and you need to use the rings to make a path for Mario to be able to hit them. Why Mario can't just walk up to them alone doesn't make sense to me, but at the same time, everything's made of paper, so f*** it. What'd you expect? This is genius, and the bosses themselves are incredibly fun to fight. The boss battles are executed to perfection, so it's really a shame that the regular battles fall flat in comparison. If the smaller battles had been done differently, and only major battles like boss fights use the ring system, I'd have no issues with it. But having to spend an extra 5 minutes fighting 8 enemies after I touched one motherfucking Goomba gets just a little bit annoying. There's also no experience points in this game, so increasing your health, attack, and defense stats is tethered to somewhat random moments in the game, unfortunately. Along your journey, you'll meet several partners that will help you realize that you're better off alone in this paper world. These partners, while fairly fun to have around, serve no real purpose. They rarely participate in combat and have no special skills to offer other than getting in the way. Like Bob-omb here loves to get in trouble, and in battle he'll sometimes attack, but only when he really feels like it. Little bitch. You can't control your partners whatsoever, which devalues them, and it makes me question why they were even added in the first place. If I'm practically fighting this battle alone, then why do I need some lazy piece of fuck with me? They do have some shining moments though, thanks to this game's wonderfully funny writing. Origami King is full of one-liners, puns, and the dry humor that practically makes the Paper Mario games. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Dad jokes are my type of shitty humor. This game doesn't hold back, and it might be one of the funniest Paper Marios to date, which helps keeps this game engaging and enjoyable. Olivia is peppy and has some memorable lines, and she doesn't force herself into your way with tips and tricks, which is just beautiful to see in a game. And that's a quick summary of the gameplay of Paper Mario: The Origami King. This game has a far from perfect battle system, and the partners are meh, but the rest of the gameplay mechanics are downright solid, especially the detail put into the hidden toads and the boss fights. As far as the visuals go, this game is absolutely gorgeous. The paper aesthetic is beautiful, and the little details like the cardboard structuring on the side of the coins is just amazing. All of the environments have their own distinct atmosphere and are incredibly immersive. Like, look at this mountain. Holy shit, is that pretty. There's such a wide variety of places to explore, and you can tell Nintendo really flexed their creative muscles here. The color palette used for this game is strikingly large, so you'll see a wide variety of colors that pop and bring life to each scene in the game. The music, of course, is a masterpiece. Nintendo never seems to produce poor soundtracks, and this game keeps that tradition going. One of my personal favorites is the Toad's Barbecue Food Eatery. It's got a country sound, and the fiddle used just fits the level's theme so well, and it is so catchy. Each level's theme is vastly different from the last, so you'll instantly feel like you're in a new part of the globe when hearing a track for the first time. The combination of the adorable art style and the killer soundtrack really help hold this game all together. The gameplay is pretty fun, but with its flaws, so having visuals and music of this quality really make up for any issues. So, is Paper Mario: The Origami King worth buying? If you're looking for a light-hearted adventure game with somewhat deep gameplay mechanics, then absolutely yes. This game is more meant for the casual gamers that are a fan of Paper Mario, so while that is good news for some, those looking for the thousand-year door will unfortunately be disappointed yet again. But that doesn't mean this game is bad by any means. For what it aims to be, Paper Mario: The Origami King does a great job, but it still misses the mark on a couple things. Because of this, I give Paper Mario: The Origami King an 8 out of 10. Even with the issues I talked about, I still had a great time with this game. The combat system is overused, the partners are pretty useless, items break a little bit too soon, and there are no experience points. But the magnificent visuals, amazing soundtrack, clever writing, intense boss battles, and plenty of hidden little secrets made this adventure a wonderful time. I can't get mad at this game, because it doesn't try to be something it isn't. From the get-go, this game aimed to be not the thousand-year door, and it succeeded. It may not be the hardcore RPG that some Paper Mario fans want, but if you aren't a part of that crowd like me, then go grab Paper Mario: The Origami King, because you're going to love it. Thank you so much for watching and listening to my thoughts on Paper Mario: The Origami King. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.